What's up, guys? So, got a bit of an issue here that I'm trying to work through. I have a bunch of effects running through the software for the intro song. It's Enter Sandman by Metallica. I've got dimmer chases, zoom chases on both my hydros and my visis. Now, I could go through and make a master to turn them off and also make a dedicated one for each song that I feel instead of just doing it in my actual song itself. And when I say song, I'll show you. Sorry, I'm having to do it this way. So when I program everything, here's all my songs. So I program my basic look, and then I go in and we'll add stuff over it, yada, 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 so on and so forth. And I'll also do my fade in times, this, that, and the other. Well, at the end, I build my buttons, and I've gotten to the point to just add what I need for my next cue, as I call my cue stack. So this is going to be when the drums kick in. This will be the verse, chorus. You can see they're kind of doing a bit of a dimmer chase as well on top of the flashing of the white. And then when they say off to Neverland, I got a faster dimmer chase up top, and it all goes red-blue. And then it goes back to the chorus for a minute, then back to the verse. Second time off to Neverland, then the solo. Come on, there we go. Solo. So the solo is where I start adding my stacked effects. I don't know how well this is going to turn out on camera, but as you can see, my hydro spots and my visi washes are both zooming in and out on top of a dimmer chase. So that's no problem for this song because I can just make one to stop at the very end, which I do so, but I'm still kind of leaving this part for a bit of a build-up. This is what I call the prayer section, where it says, now lay me off to sleep, yada, yada, yada. And then it goes back into the chorus, doing its full effects, which works out great because it's the last chorus or last hook, bigger build-up. And then the outro itself, Neverland, or Neverland, whatever he says, does kind of that. And then the outro, it'll be like so. I screwed something up in my clicking order because I got to click these in order. But my... Okay. Maybe I'm just an idiot. I don't know. And like I said, I have all these effects over here that I made running. So yes, there are certain cues in that I hit stop, which they just go to 0 instead of null, because if I hit null, it technically will just still run that effect. So what I ended up doing is I just mini-mapped all these effects, my dimmers and my zoom effects, to the APC in this little area here that I rarely use. I don't know why or how, but for some reason, to turn it off, you have to double tap the button. I don't know why. Maybe something I'll play with a little later when I have more time, but I don't know. There's something internally that I know has to happen, but whatever. Don't laugh, I've got more faders coming. I've got a cyan, a yellow, I've got another amber, and then I've got a master one with a red across here going in here as well. And this one is kind of broke. So anywho, at the end, I can still stop all the effects by hitting what I call my home button at the end of the track. So, it brings everything to a predetermined position and kind of stops can stop some effects. But every now and then I do mess up, we are human, and whatnot. So, I may have an effect rolling still and hit another song, and my stuff's not working properly. So, to fix that, what I do is, like I said, I mini map this, and I can do this one or two ways. I can go over here because I'm going to have a touchscreen monitor. It's about a 15-inch monitor that I'll be tapping these. So I can have this screen up and come over here and manually turn those off, and I will forget to do that. Or I can just come over here real quickly and double tap all my effects, turn them off. And I can prove I did that by looking over here. All my effects are off. So that's a little programming bug that I have to work through and figure out how to overcome. Again, that's kind of stuff that a lot of people don't see in the programming production portion. All they see is the cool flashy light show. So hopefully you learned something. And again, this is using the APC 40 with the 3.0 software. I don't know. Maybe the 5.0 has a little better effects with that. I don't know. But like I said, I know this software the best. I know the programming, like all the little quirks I've got to do. So this is what I'm most comfortable with.